What's this, you might ask? This is Mari's favorite calendar organizer, and what she writes her favorite verses down in the morning when she's watching Joyce Meyer. And as you can see, something happened to it this morning. So Mari had to work today, and things happened that made me start thinking about blended families, and that's why I'm going to do this video today. So Mari had to work at 12:30, and it was 10, and she was getting ready to drive Jaiden over to his grandparents, and I'm in the basement, and all I hear is just screaming and crying, and then even Sebastian came down crying, and Sebastian is never fazed by meltdowns, really. We've done well with keeping him away from it and also explaining, you know, how Jay's brain's different, and that's okay, and that's all that's all Sebastian knows, and he loves his brother no matter what, unconditionally. So he's done really good, but he came down crying, and I was like, oh, are you okay? I thought it was because of the meltdown. But Sebastian actually came down because he did not want his brother to leave. And that was the first time I've seen that, and he was crying, and he was super sad. And as a parent, you're totally helpless. Because I get it, it's his brother. I wouldn't want my brother to leave, and they have a lot of fun together. So I consoled him, and I just told him this is, you know, part of our life. This is how it is. He has, you know, another family he has to go to. And when we do have Jay, we're gonna have so much fun, and we always have so much fun, right? And he's like, yeah. And then I promised him I'd do stuff with him later. And then I come to find out, upstairs, Jaiden's having a meltdown because he doesn't want mom to go to work. And not often does he do that, but today was one of those days, and he did not want her to go to work. He wanted to be with his mom. He didn't want to go to anyone else's houses, and he made it clear. Because he personally attacked. This is sitting next to my wife's chair every day, and he never touches it. So he almost got so mad that he knew, like, you know what, I'm going to personally attack mommy's favorite thing. And that's okay. It's been way worse. We've had bigger things broken, more expensive things broken, and that's okay. But it showed the dynamic of a blended family and how tough it can be for typical kids. But then it also showed how hard it is for kids on the spectrum, especially when you're nonverbal like Jay is. And he can't really truly communicate and tell us, like, Mom, I want nothing to do with you. I want to go be with Grandma. Or, I don't want to be with Grandma today. I want to be with you. Right? Instead, he expresses it through emotions and meltdowns. And it was hard. It was so hard. So, long story short, my wife called off because today was one of those days. And she's spending time with the family today. And Jay was, as soon as she said that, Jay just, boom, perked right up. But what this is going to lead me into is blended families. I'm 3 minutes in. So we are a blended family, and a lot of you know that. And I've been getting a lot of questions about, like, where's Julian? Why isn't Julian in the videos? Does Julian live with you? And then other questions regarding the kids. So the quick summary on Julian is this. We moved 3 years ago, and Julian was a freshman, or going into his freshman year. And he had a awesome girlfriend. Like, awesome. She was awesome. So my first thoughts was, I never wanted to move Julian in high school. We always tried to move before Julian's high school years, because I know how devastating that is for a kid. Because my mom always told me she moved in the middle of her junior year in high school, and it was like horrible senior year, because she had to make all new friends within 1 year. Everyone's already best friends and cliques, and you move in and it just doesn't work. And Julian was at a good place at that time. He was in band, he had a girlfriend. So I knew he wouldn't want to move, and when we did move, we asked him, and, you know, of course he said no, and again, Madi and I both respected it. We love him dearly, and, you know, he has another parent he can stay with, and that's fine. That's how this works in a blended family. So that was the first dynamic that took place. That was very hard for us. But the second was, we were living right by Julian's family, others, like his dad's side on that. So we were there everyone was in quick driving distance. But at the same time, we were driving 2 years in a row to Jaiden's new school. Excuse me. That was a 2-hour drive, round trip. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he had to go for 13 more years. So we decided, like, babe, like, I asked my wife, I said, are we going to make this drive for 13 more years? That was back then. For 2 hours a day. Because you can't ever get time back. And then the cost of gas and wear and tear on your car was factored in. And then also Madi got a job that was totally far away. And it was much closer to Jay's school. All my thrift stores for my job are much closer to Jay's school. So we factored in all this, and then the last thing we factored in Sebastian, and where we were at was the public schools were rated an F or a D. There was gangs. We lived in a beautiful, beautiful house, a beautiful neighborhood, but at times people are getting shot blocks away. So we had to think about that. We had to think about Sebastian. So you can't just always focus on one kid. And that is I guess something, again, I will reiterate. You have to focus on your family as a whole. And I know someone is going to lose out in that decision. Whether it's your oldest, the middle, the youngest. And for this situation, it was Julian. And I feel horrible until this day. Madi and I feel horrible. But we had to make a decision for everyone. And because Julian was much more older, he was already kind of established of who he is, and he was going down a good path. We felt confident in who he was, that he's going to be okay. And for all I know, he might resent us forever. I don't know, but that is the choice we had to live with. But we made, because Jaiden had special needs, has severe special needs with his autism, and this school catered to him perfectly. There's 13 kids in this school, whereas the school we were at was it was like a block away. They picked him up in a van. But it grew so fast, guys, that it went from like one-on-one, ABA and all that one-on-one, to like 1 to 10 within like 2 years. Because, again, autism is growing at such a fast rate. So that happened, and then we're like, well, Jay is not meant for a bigger school like that. He needs a much more, one-on-one type atmosphere. So the nearest school was 30 minutes away. So we picked up our family after all those decisions. We did the pros and cons, and we came here, and we did that for our family. And though we regret some of it, we have to stick by our decision, because at the end of the day, we think we did the best for everyone as a whole. Now, yes, Julian gets totally the bad end of the stick, and it's not fair. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to us. It's not fair to his brothers, But everything else going on in our family and in our life is much better because of our decision, besides the Julian aspect. And I feel, looking back, yes, our mortgage might be higher, the cost of living here, the taxes are higher, but overall, all those reasons on the pro and con list we made was a wise decision. And with that, we still have to juggle a blended family. So there's lots of driving back and forth, and we knew that. But we're very, very grateful for the help that we get. And it's just hard, though. So for people out there who are in blended families, find out what works best for you. I always say this: find out what works best for you, because me talking about just Jaiden or me just talking about our family does not mean anything compared to your situation. Maybe you can pull tidbits from our story or what I'm saying and use it for your situation, or get something for your situation, but it's all different. And there's a lot of people watching who are married with the biological parent, and you guys are a stable family. You're not blended, broken, whatever people want to say. So if you are watching that, congratulations. Stay focused on your marriage. Focus on your kid, and focus on everything that's best for you guys. If you have to make a big move, do a pro and con list. And we were told, actually, by one of Madi's mentors, this was really cool, him and his wife, he's a very successful life coach. And I mean, very, very successful. Like, he's one of the best life coaches in the country. And he just made a podcast and we were listening, and he said that they were going to move. After all these years of success, he's in Nashville. He's just killing it. But he said it was a time for a season of change. So they made a pro and con list, and they said they basically make their decision within 2 weeks. That if within 2 weeks of their pros and cons and talking about it, they either will decide to go and make a change or not to go. And I thought that was pretty interesting, because they said it should be pretty obvious when you are trying to like make a major decision in your life. So that I thought was pretty awesome, and we kind of took that in and we thought about it for future decisions. So if you guys are going through anything in your life, I would go on that. That is a great concept of, you just got to do it. Like when I moved to LA and I was 25, I was substitute teaching, and I went out to LA all by myself, and I just jumped. I left everyone I knew, everything that was comfortable to me, and a lot of people don't go to far off places by themselves, but I was that type of person. But I just jumped. I made the pros and cons, and I said, you know what, you only get one life. And it's kind of what they were saying, like you have to just jump once you do your pros and cons. You can't teeter. So with your family, if there's ever big things going on or big topics, remember to do some sort of list. And again, I'm sorry for the babbling, but this is a big topic, and I know a lot of people watching are like, well, we're not blended families, or this or that. But you are a blended family in the sense if the father's not in the picture, or the mother's not in the picture, in the sense of under your roof. If you have split up, or you have shared custody, or whatever it may be, that is blended. And even if you just have one child. So some of the things I've been saying, I hope relate, and I hope you guys can pull from it. But because of what happened today, I just felt, you know what, I need to get in front of the camera and just talk about it. Because it's, the more and more I do this, at first it started for Jay, and it started for autism awareness, which is obviously the biggest picture, right? This whole channel is about awareness and making people see, like, hey, you're not alone. Like, we go through the same things you go through. And I've been getting tons of great comments that are like, wow, that was awesome. I'm totally not alone. Thank you for sharing this, or thank you for that. So I'm realizing what I started this channel for is actually working, and it's touching people's lives. And I'm like, wow. But at the same time, on the flip side, you guys out there, this has actually become something very therapeutic for myself. Whereas I can jump on and I can talk to you guys like counselors and I can experience what just happened, and my heart hurts for my kids and my wife. And though I can't do anything, I can come to you guys. I can show you just a scratched up, planner, but I can tell you the story behind it and what led to it and how we got to where we're at with being a blended family and why it happened, instead of just letting it build up inside myself and maybe get frustrated. And I'm not really that type. I'm pretty laid back. I'm easygoing. Things don't really get to me. They roll off, my back. But it was sad. Like, my heart hurt for both the boys today. So that is me just venting about a blended family. I love where we're at. I don't regret things. I know what we did, what's best for the whole family. And again, Julian got the bad end of the stick. But someone always will in a blended family. Like someone, and you have to accept that. Don't carry guilt. Just love your kids, love your spouse, do the best you can for your family, and understand that if you are in a blended family, just make the best of it, guys. I guess that's pretty much it. Because again, please focus on controlling what you can control. You can't control those things outside your house, outside the lines. And just do your best to explain to your kids why it's like this. And though you can't just explain things, obviously, if your child is on the spectrum and they have severe autism, but still do your best to explain it. They will grasp it in some way, shape, or form. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for listening. I know the struggles are real at times with the blended family, and there's lots of different things that can come out of nowhere. But here in the Moldis household, we try to make the best of it, and we're grateful for the help that we get, and we love the boys, and we try to, you know, have as much fun as we can when they are all together. So that is my advice. But again, find out what works for you. Figure out what's best. Okay, I'm done. Thank you guys for listening. I don't even know if I'll post this video. Okay, see ya.